Welcome to the Real Talk. Yet again, another episode. Today, Friday, the 29th of September 2023. And you know what happens every Friday at exactly 2 p.m. It's the Real Talk back at it again, yet again with another real topic. Today, we are discussing all things continuous use of contraceptives among young people and the rightful age for accessing them. I am your host. Luvumbe Jeremiah Mulanda from the Zambian Youth Platform, not forgetting my good brother, our sign language interpreter, Shadrick Chansa from Kwame Nkrumah University. I am not alone as usual on the show. I am joined by two lovely ladies who will help me understand today's very, very important topic. Before I allow them to introduce themselves, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that we are officially live. And remember that you can send us your questions, your comments, and your lovely contributions. We always love to hear from you. And tell us where you're watching us from. I will now allow them to introduce themselves, beginning from Mwape. Please tell us where you are currently, what you do, and where you're coming from.
Oh, Jeremiah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Can Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mwape Kaunda. I am from Planned Parenthood Association of Zambia. I'm a youth volunteer there. Yeah, apart from that, I'm also a social worker by profession, and I'm mostly passionate about young people and adolescents. Yes, that's about me.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Mapo. We are privileged to have you with us here today. Next to Mapo is Edna Musonda. Please introduce yourself and tell us where you're coming from.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ingelo Ndomsonda. I'm a clinical officer general in the Mopani facility, Kitwe, and I'm also the adolescent and young people coordinator there. So, yeah, good, good to be here.
You are welcome. It's been a while since I hosted someone from the Copper Belt. So, a Copper Belt, Laka, shout out to all of you. Inge is representing all of you this lovely afternoon. Now, remember, we are discussing continuous use of contraceptives among young people and the rightful age of accessing them. You can send us your questions, your comments, and your contributions, and let's have a fruitful time together. So let's kickstart our conversation. I will start with you, Mwape. What are contraceptives? I have heard a lot of young people ask themselves, this contraceptive word is a very, very complicated word and sometimes very hard to understand. But in a layman's language, what are contraceptives?
All right. Contraceptives are simply methods, medicine, or devices used to prevent pregnancy. Simply put, that's how best we can define contraceptives. Nothing jargon there. Yes, so contraceptives are medicines, devices, or methods used to prevent pregnancy.
Hmm, I like that so much. You have given us a lot of context into understanding what contraceptives are. Because time and time again, whenever you talk about contraceptives, people think, it's as medicine, but we are hearing from you that it can also be a device, it can also be a method. So thank you so much, Marty. So a contraceptive, to everyone who's watching right now, is a method, is a medicine, or a device that is used to prevent pregnancy. Great stuff. Now I'll come to you, Inde. What was this year? What was this year's World Contraceptive Day theme, and what did it mean to you in particular, and the adolescents and the young people that you serve? Sorry, Inde, you're on mute. You're on mute again. Ah, that's better.
Can you get me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
this year's theme, World Contraceptive Day theme, was the power of options, and it's in as much as it sounds short, it meant a lot because the adolescents and young people that we deal with are given options to choose which type of contraceptives that best suits them, and they're given an opportunity to make their own decisions. And that's what we want. We want to see adolescents being involved in everything. When an adolescent comes to my facility, I give them an informed choice, and they make a decision on themselves. So the power of options really um, spoke to us who offer the service, and it meant a lot. Yeah.
Mm. I like that so much. Mope, what does this mean? What does this theme mean for you? What did it mean to you to just hear, the power of option?
For me, it was a very powerful theme. The power of contraception option. To me, it presents the unlimited opportunities that a young person who chooses to use contraception can have. They are free to thrive. They would not be disturbed by any unwanted pregnancy. They would not walk into any unintended pregnancy. That means they can channel their energy and their resources to any other opportunities that they want to do, and they will not be worried about pregnancies. So to me, it was a very powerful theme, and that's what it translated to. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like that so much. And I think it's very, very eye-catching and captivating when you hear, the power of options. You need to have options because when we design these interventions, they are not a one size fits all. So that was really, really good.
Yeah.
Now let's come to now understanding the types of contraceptives. I know, Mwape, you've already spoken about these being methods or devices. So what are the available types of contraceptives that the young people can access? I'll start with you, Inge, then Mwape, you can also add on.
Okay, we have many types of contraceptives. We had short, we have short-acting contraceptives like the Depo short and the NSP short, and also we have pills, and then we have long-acting as well, like the IUD that you spoke of, the device and the implant. Those are long acting because they work for a long time. Like for instance, Jadel, which is an implant, it goes up to 3 to 5 years. So imagine what someone can achieve in that 3 to 5 years without falling pregnant as a young person. So and then we also have barrier methods like condoms, which do not only prevent pregnancy but also STIs and HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases. Yeah. So apart from that, we also have sterilization. For sterilization, it's mainly for those who don't want like to have a child or to get pregnant ever. So for male they go for vasectomy, and for female they do a BTL, which is bilateral tubal ligation. They close the tube, and I think Mope can add more on the type. Though I've spoken more of all all of them.
Yeah, I think you have highlighted all of them. I think the only one that you lifted was the injections, the injectables. Those are also short term. They vary from 2 months to 3 months. Yeah.
Mm, great stuff. Now, to all our viewers out there, you can join the conversation via all our social media platforms. We are asking, should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraceptives? Should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraceptives? You can send us your thoughts, and we'll be delighted to hear from you and what you think on this very, very important topic. Now, Mwape, I was going to come to you even as our online audience prepares their comments regarding that issue. What's your advice in terms of the type of contraceptive that a young person should go for? Because India has given us all the options, the long term and the short term. So I'm thinking about this young person who's trying to, decide, should I go for the 3 years, the 5 years, the 3 months, the 5 months, and all of those things. What are some of the tips that you can give to young people who are listening regarding them deciding what contraceptive they should pick and make it work for themselves?
Okay, thank you, Jeremiah. But if you allow me, I would like to pass that question to Inge because she's a service provider, and I, on the other hand, I'm just a sexual reproductive health and right advocate. I can only advise to a certain extent, but what exactly contraceptives to settle for, I think a service provider is in a better position to answer that question.
Yeah, sure, sure. Inge, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mape. Any contraceptive is best suitable for anyone, depending on what their plans are. So if you come to me and tell me you want to go pregnant next year, I will advise and give you options of which one you want to get, because there are those that can cause primary infertility. So if you want to get pregnant after a certain period of time, I would give you a choice. Yeah. So any contraceptive is okay for young people. It just depends on what you want to have planned. Yeah.
Mm. I like that. I'll still come back to you, Mote, because I know Inge has spoken from a healthcare provider's point of view. Now I know that you're an advocate to speak to these young people to hear their concerns. What advice would you give to a young person who walked up to you and said, what, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think I should do?
All right, I would certainly advise young people to be on contraceptives, but before they could actually access those contraceptives, and I mean be on the actual contraceptives, information is very important. They need to know why they're accessing these contraceptives, what it is that they'll do to them, and they need to be able to understand what contraceptives mean, how it speaks to safer sex. Yeah, so once we highlight safer sex and they say, okay, you know what, I'm not comfortable with abstinence and I want to start indulging into sex, then we can discuss contraceptives. Yeah, we can move into contraceptives because then you're on the safer side. You're not going to walk into any unintended pregnancy. You're not going to walk into any unwanted pregnancy. The key is really information, because once you have the information, it gives you the power to decide what you want for your life.
Mm. I like that so much, Mote, and thank you so much. You both. Information is power. I don't believe that we are ever going to outgrow that saying. And true to what you're saying, always when you're trying to make a decision, if you're trying to make an informed decision, information plays a very, very critical role. So great stuff. Remember, you can also join the conversation, our online audience. We are asking the question: should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraceptives? You can send us your thoughts regarding this hot topic. It's been quite a topic. I had a good conversation with my colleagues earlier regarding this very, very important topic. So now that we've spoken about what contraceptives are, we've also spoken about the types of contraceptives. What are the short-term effects and long-term effects of using contraceptives on young people? I'll start with you, India, because you touched on this a bit. So, what are the short-term and what are the long-term effects?
Thank you, Jeremiah. Okay, for short-term effects, we all know that contraceptives are basically hormones. Most of them are basically hormones. So, hormonal changes might bring about side effects. And on the short-term effects, I'll talk of acne. I'll talk of bleeding tendencies like uh, not having menses and having irregular menses and stuff like that. I'll talk of headache, nausea, and weight gain. Yeah, those are the short-term effects. But for long-term effects, we have primary infertility, which I just talked about. This is the type of infertility that you get from contraceptive for a certain period of time. No contraceptives can cause a full infertility. So if someone tells you that if you go for contraceptives you never have a child, then they are lying to you. There should be some underlying conditions that you might just have, but it causes a bit of primary infertility because it takes some time for some hormones to wear off. So if you want to fall pregnant at a certain stage, we do encourage you to go for a better contraception that you can just abruptly stop and conceive. Yeah. And then weight gain also is can be a long-term effect because for some people it's hard to lose weight, and obesity is one of the biggest problems that we have. So it's also falling under long-term effects. Yeah, those are some of the effects that contraceptives can come with.
Mm, mm. And even as you're speaking, India, I'm just thinking about also, the psychological effect that, when you use a contraceptive and it goes bad, for a lack of a better term, you get that unexpected result. Mwape, you interact with young people. What are some of the, common effects that you've noticed besides medical that, young people face when they use contraceptives?
Okay, there have been some complaints from young people. They say contraceptives make them tired. They usually get hungry, and of course, mood swings. You know how most of the contraceptives are hormonal, so the hormones get to deal with your mind, your mental, and you just develop mood swings a lot. So you find that to a certain extent, young people are shunning away from hormonal contraceptives because of the effects that it has on them. Yeah, as young people we move a lot, so you can imagine a situation where you're hungry, you do not have money for to buy food, and then contraceptive also give back pain. Yeah, there's that, they give you back pain. So more or less young people do not prefer hormonal contraceptives.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
great stuff. Thank you so much. Remember, if you are just joining us, we are discussing continuous use of contraceptives among young people and the rightful age of accessing them. Now, you can send us your questions, your comments, or your contributions, and we'll be able to read them live here on the show. You can also actively interact with us. We have a question that we are asking: should young people have unrestricted access to condom and emergency contraception? We want to hear from you. What do you think about this? Should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraceptives? So get typing. We really want to hear from you. And please feel free to also educate us and give us a reason why you think young people should have, this unrestricted access. Now, um, the big question, the elephant in the room: what is the right age for accessing contraception? I'll start with you, Inde. If there is even a right age, what is that age?
Um, Contraceptives don't have the right age. For as long as you are sexually active and you're able to reproduce, you can access them. But there is a consented age. I can't give contraceptives to anyone who's below 16 without a consent from their guardians or parents. So they have to have someone backing them up as to why they're accessing those. Yeah, but there's no right age for contraceptives. No.
Mm, okay. And maybe also, can you also just speak into both sides of the spectrum? So how has it been for young people who are below the age of 16, and also with regards to them getting consent from their parent or guardian? How has that been? And also young people who are able to just access contraceptives by themselves. How has your experience been dealing with both?
It's really hard for those younger than 16. It's hard. You can't tell your parents that, no, I want to go and get Dettol. I want to go and get pills at the clinic. So, from what I've noticed, these young people would rather send bigger or older people to get for them, and that is not right. Um, as 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 we are coming from homes, different homes, we need to talk to our children that it is right to talk about sex and sexual reproductive health. In that way, they'll be free and open to talk to us and tell us that they are engaging or indulging in sexual activities. And contraceptives will protect them from getting unwanted pregnancies. So it's quite hard. If they don't have an imposter coming for them, then they'll lie. They'll tell you they are older than 16, and yeah, that's what I've noticed. And they
mm,
really prefer the peers, their peers giving them these contraceptives other than these older providers. So if we engage peers like in the community, maybe we have like a program for condom distribution and stuff like that, then they'll get a lot a lot of them. So that just speaks to us as to how many people are engaging in sexual activities. So let's keep preaching, let's keep talking, let's tell everyone that it's okay to talk about sex. It's all right.
mm, mm, mm. Now, before I let you go, Inge, there's a very, very interesting question in the chat. Lewis is asking, Zambian youth platform ZYP, are there any chances of getting pregnant after using contraceptives? Very, very good question. What do you have to say about this?
Hi, Lewis. Are there any chances of getting pregnant after using contraceptives? Yes, 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 yes. Especially the pill and the non-hormonal devices. Once you just remove those, then you can conceive if you're ovulating. So
Mm,
there are chances of getting pregnant. Actually, you get pregnant when you're off contraceptive.
mm, mm. Exactly. Thank you so much for responding to that question. Another question from Auditor Mono. He's asking, my question is, what are some of the side effects if one starts family planning at a tender age? What are some of the side effects if one starts family planning at a tender age? What is your response to that?
There are no side effects of family planning if you start at a tender age. The only side effects we talked about are those ones that we mentioned. And if you stop using contraceptives, the hormone wears off. It's hormonal, remember? So if I'm on the pill and I abstain, like if I want to abstain, I'll stop using the pill. And those side effects, for as long as the hormone is not there, then you won't get any effect. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's getting really hot in the comment section. Joseph is coming through with a comment from Facebook, and he says young people should have unrestricted access to contraceptives because a large number of young people indulge in unplanned sexual activities, I believe, while they are still on the journey of building their future. I believe that's Joseph International. Thank you so much, Joseph, for coming through. Remember, you can send us your questions, your comments, and your contributions. We are asking, should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraceptives? Should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraceptives? I'll come to you, Mape. What are some of the myths and misconceptions around contraception here in Zambia, especially amongst the young people?
Belief,
Oh,
but
sorry, Mape.
around there. Oh,
Okay, we can hear you now. Please go on.
okay. So I was saying I don't know if I can call this a myth or a belief, but somewhere around there, there's a belief that family planning. Okay, contraception is commonly known as family planning. Eh? Family planning is only for married people or older women, but that's not the case. Initially, family planning is for everyone who has reached a productive age and they're indulging in sexual activity. And then the second one is also that young people who access contraceptives are promiscuous. No, not quite. Young people who access contraceptives are not promiscuous. They're just trying to protect their future. They're just trying to make better decisions. And then there's also the biggest myth that contraceptives cause infertility. No, like Inge mentioned, she mentioned that there's primary infertility that comes because these contraceptives are hormonal. So once you stop using those contraceptives, it does take some time for the hormones to wear off your body. So people consider that time that the contraceptives are in your body as infertility, but no, it's just a phase that it takes for the hormones to wear off. Yeah, so those are some of the myths and misconceptions, really.
Mm. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Inge, do you have anything to add on from the healthcare provider's point of view?
I think she's basically said the largest, like the biggest of them. Yeah. One thing I learned last week when I was working in the community was that if people run out of condoms, they use plastic. I was I was so devastated. Like young people using those small plastics when indulging in sex. So that's a misconception that we have to talk about. Yeah. Condoms are free. People can access them anywhere. So if you run out of condoms, go to your nearest facility and you'll be helped. Yeah. Martha said everything on the list.
Mm, great stuff. Now, even as we draw to the conclusion of the show, the million-dollar question from you both's point of view is: should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraceptives? I will start with you, Mwape. In your opinion, should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraception?
Okay. So for me, to begin with, I'm very big on information. I am big on sexual information. I am big on contraceptive information. And yes, to answer that question, yes, young people should have access, unlimited access to condoms and contraceptives, because when they have this information, they will certainly not make the wrong decisions. They will access the condoms, they will access any other contraceptives, and we're gonna see that society is going to be doing better. We're going to have a lot more children completing their schools. We're going to reduce on unintended pregnancy. There's so many economic young
Oh
people
no,
do need
we seem
access
to have
to
lost.
this.
Okay, we lost you for a while, Mwape, but please go on. You're back now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was saying, and yeah, there's so many social, economical factors that contraceptives can avoid. So yes, young people do deserve unlimited access to contraceptives and condoms, but that should be backed up by information. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mope. Ine, should young people have access to unrestricted condoms and emergency contraception?
Come again, Jeremiah. You are breaking there.
Oh, sorry, I was saying the million-dollar question is: should young people have unrestricted access to condoms and emergency contraception? So, from your point of view, what do you think?
On my point of view as a clinician, as a service provider, I feel young people should have unrestricted access to condoms and contraceptives because we don't want unintended pregnancies, like Martha said. Unintended pregnancies will bring about social and economical problems and can also bring about um, death. Like in children, like in young people, they are not ready to have a child, and during labor we might lose them and stuff like that. So these contraceptives are helping in a lot of ways. uh, Planning, the nation of planning, budgeting, and all. Yeah, they should have backed up with information, of course. So that's why we educate everyone who's coming to access these the condoms and contraceptives at the facility. We run them through the types and the different contraceptives they can access at that time. Yeah.
Mm, beautiful. And even as we draw to the conclusion of the show, there's an interesting comment from Chimoemwe Happiness Monga from Facebook. Um, and this is the comment: contraceptives are supposed to be available for adolescents and young people, not because you are telling them to start having sex, but because the fact is that they are having sex. Even if they are not having sex, they are still having sex. And that is why we need to educate young people about contraceptives and emergency contraception. So, Mwape, Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Oh, sincere apologies, my network dropped. I was saying, Chimoemo Happiness Munga from Facebook is saying contraceptives are supposed to be available for adolescents and young people, not because you are telling them to start having sex, but because the fact is that they are having sex this hour out there. Some are doing it, so they must have that unlimited access because they highly need them. Thank you so much, Chimomo, for coming to. And really, the take home message from this conversation is that young people should have unlimited, unrestricted access, but this should be accompanied by the right information. Thank you so much, Indian Sonda and Mwape Kaunda, for coming through and helping us digest this very, very important topic. Please pass our sincere regards to PPAZ and Mopani out there in the Copperbelt province. Not forgetting my sign language interpreter, Chancellor Shadrick, all the way from Kamen Kuruma University. Thank you so much to you, our lovely viewers, for having joined us on this show. Remember, we were discussing continuous use of contraceptives among young people and the rightful age to accessing them. Until next time, when we have yet another real topic on the Real Talk, it's bye bye from your presenter, Lumumba Jeremiah Mulanda. See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.